Hello, I'm Bob the Barber, and this is Vintage Card Minute. Today, I'm going to talk about 10 more of the funniest names in sports cards. Let's get started. Number 1 is a 1981 Fleer, Pete Lecoq. He was a first baseman and an outfielder for the Cubs and the Royals from 1972 to 1980. Are you thinking what I'm thinking when you see his name? That's not what you're thinking? Well, if that's the case, then you're nasty and you need to repent. Number 2, 1974 Topps, Rufus Mazize. First thing you need to know about Rufus Mazize is he was part of the 1968 National Championship team for the Ohio State University. He also was an offensive lineman in the NFL from 1969 to 1979 for the Bears, the Bengals, and the Eagles. Now, Rufus is just kind of a funny name, and I kind of feel sorry for the guy, but honestly, I thought of a couple of guys that Rufus would be a good name for. Next, 1991 Pro Set Bob Beers. He was a defenseman in the NHL from 1989 to the year 2000. Now he is a radio broadcaster for the Boston Bruins. You got to figure with a name like Bob Beers, this guy has got to be the life of the party. Kind of like what Bill Murray said in Stripes, I want to party with you, cowboy. And in honor of Bob Beers, I have given him a middle name. His name from here on out is Bob Iron City Beers, because Iron City is the beer drinker's beer, brought to you by the Pittsburgh Brewing Company, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Next is a 2004 Upper Deck World Be Free, whose real name is Lloyd Free. World Be Free played in the NBA from 1978 to 1988 for 5 different teams, including the Cleveland Cavaliers. I have always loved his name. I remember watching him as a kid. The Cleveland announcers up at the Richfield Coliseum would be like, "World Be Free!" when he scored. It was really cool. Now, as far as the origin of his name, I'm actually kind of disappointed. I thought it would have a loftier purpose, like he named himself World because he wanted to end world hunger and he wanted the world's children to be free. Free from bondage or, something out of Amnesty International. But honestly, the world in World Be Free stands for all world. That's the name that his buddy gave to him when he was a kid. Kind of like if somebody is all county or all city, he was all world. Next is 1991 Max Dick Trickle. Dick Trickle was a NASCAR driver from 1989 to 2002. I don't have a whole lot to say about Dick Trickle other than here at Vintage Card Minute, we care very much about men's health. And if you or anyone you know is suffering from Dick Trickle, please consult a physician where a number of treatments are available. Next up, 1990 NBA Hoops, Maurice Cheeks. Maurice was a point guard in the NBA from 1978 to 1993. He is in the Hall of Fame, and by the way, he is still coaching. One thing about Maurice Cheeks, by looking at him, I figured he would have chubbier cheeks. With a name like Cheeks, you should have chubby cheeks. You should look more like the Great Hambino from The Sandlot or Fat Ricky from Better Off Dead. But look at his picture. He actually has kind of slender face, slender cheeks. Kind of disappointing. Next is 1990 NBA Hoops, Pooh Richardson, who played 10 seasons in the NBA and who is still coaching, by the way. Now, when I first saw this card and saw his name, I was thinking it had something to do with poop. And so did you, so don't judge me. But actually, the Pooh stands for Winnie the Pooh because his mama named him that because she said that he looked like Winnie the Pooh when he was a little boy. Next up, 1984 Topps catcher for the Atlanta Braves, Biff Pocaroba. I love the name Biff. It makes me think of Biff Tannen from Back to the Future. But did you know that Biff Pocaroba, along with having a funny name, started a sausage company with his brothers in Atlanta and was very successful? So just like in Ferris Bueller's Day Off, where Matthew Broderick impersonates Abe Froman, the Sausage King of Chicago, Biff Pocaroba was the Sausage King of the ATL. Next up, 1974 tops, Fair Hooker. Yes, that is his real name, Fair Hooker. I only have one thing to say about Fair Hooker. When hiring help for the night, professional girls, make sure you get more bang for your buck. Make sure you always hire a fair hooker. And last but not least, my personal favorite, 1975 tops, Dick Pole. Dick was a pitcher in the major leagues from 1973 to 1978 for the Boston Red Sox and the Seattle Mariners, and he was a coach in the major leagues until 2009. This name is so ridiculous. Dick Pole. I took the liberty of coming up with some alternate names for Dick Pole that sound more kid appropriate and kid friendly. How about Rich Pole? How about Rico Pole? How about Uncle Rico Pole? Rico Suave Pole? Rick Pole? Rick Springfield Pole? Rick James Pole? Ricky Pole? Ricky Rudd Pole? Ricky Bobby Pole? Ricky Lee Jones Pole? Any one of these, I believe, would have been a better choice as a name or a nickname for this fine fella. I just have to think, when he was a kid, like his parents or him, nobody thought about this. I just find it very hard to believe that they went with Dick Pole. Anyway, I want to thank you for tuning in, and always want to thank my number one cameraman, Mr. Warren Watts. Say hi, Warren.
Hi.
Hi. I want to thank you for tuning in. I want to thank you for all the likes, all the subscribers, all the comments. Please feel free to leave comments. I really want you to know how much I appreciate you viewing my videos, and we'll see you next time.